You face Shakur Stevenson. He's fighting Teofimo. You mentioned both of them. Who's winning this fight?
Yeah, I fought Shakur, and he's a hard guy to hit. Yeah. You know, it looks very simple, but it's not.
But it was good, Roy. It was good, Dre. I've been feeling good. I've been sharp. I've been focused. Training camp going well. So now we just wait on the day. I'm ready, and I'm definitely coming to shot.
At first glance, Shakur Stevenson can completely mislead you because the surface view hides what's really happening. You notice a boxer who willingly retreats. You notice someone who favors sharp, controlled jabs instead of swinging for destruction. To casual viewers and even a few challengers, it appears harmless. It appears easy to deal with. It appears unexciting. That lack of excitement is the hook. It's a deliberate illusion, carefully built to draw aggressive fighters forward and lock them into a draining puzzle they cannot escape until the fight is officially over.
Floyd, when you think about the fighters who are fighting now, can you give me your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 when it comes to the lightweight? Who you would put where?
As of right now, the two guys, the biggest puncher, I feel at the 135 would probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 would be hands down Shakur Stevens.
What is it about him? Because I know you have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level.
Teofimo Lopez will step into Madison Square Garden on January 31st, carrying the certainty of someone convinced he can break through any barrier. He spots a mover. He spots an opponent he thinks lacks the power to keep him at bay. But one man understands the reality more than anyone. Oscar Valdez didn't just observe Shakur Stevenson on a screen. He endured 12 rounds of relentless struggle with him in the ring. Now, Valdez is issuing a stark caution to his friend Teofimo. Don't trust appearances, because what seems easy from the outside is unthinkably difficult once you're inside.
Fight.
Yeah, I fought Shakur, and he's a hard guy to hit. Yeah. You know, it looks very simple, but it's not. But I've seen Teofimo train before. He's a complete athlete, so if I'm being very honest, man, it's a 50-50 fight. It's a stay away bet for me. I wouldn't bet either or because you never know what's gonna happen on that chess game because that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a chess game.
Oscar Valdez isn't easily shaken. He's a seasoned fighter, a veteran of brutal battles, broken jaws, and exchanges with elite opponents. Yet, when the topic turns to Shakur Stevenson, his demeanor shifts, not to fear, but to irritation. In a recent interview, Valdez delivered a precise technical caution to Teofimo Lopez, saying, "It seems simple, but it isn't." That's exactly where the danger lies. He broke down how watching Shakur on tape can be misleading. You spot gaps, think, I can land that punch. I can corner him. But once the fight starts, everything changes. Valdez described it as always being just a fraction too short. Shakur manipulates distance so flawlessly that he feels unreachable, even when he's right in front of you.
You know, people think the fight with Teo is either going to be you delivering a masterclass
or a knockout by Teo.
Yeah, or you getting into some type of brawl with Teo and end up getting knocked out, right? What are fans getting wrong about the matchup?
I think the fans is getting wrong about the matchup is where I'm not sleeping on that I know about Teo. Teo's a good boxer. Mm-hmm. He's boxer first. Mm-hmm. So we could say, oh, he's just going to knock you out. Or he's just going to... That's not him. He's boxing first. He's going to want to establish distance and range on the outside and try to beat me up on the outside. So I think that's the main thing. And also the biggest thing that everybody don't realize with me, I can punch. Mm-hmm. Everybody say, oh, he can't punch, and then boom, crack somebody, and then they laying down or something may happen to where they hurt or something like that. So I think that's two big things where they don't understand.
Valdez is cautioning Teofimo that the gaps he thinks are there are actually traps. Shakur lures you in with a fake opening, and the moment you commit, the target disappears while you're hit with a flurry before you can recover. It's like facing a phantom inside the ring. Valdez's message is clear. You can't knock out something that isn't really there. Typically, when fighters are asked to choose between a friend and an opponent, they side with their friend. Loyalty runs deep in boxing. But Valdez broke that norm. When asked who would win between Teofimo and Shakur, he paused, framing it as a cautious wager, a strategic battle, a true chess match.
If I'm being very honest, man, it's a 50-50 fight. It's a stay away bet for me. I wouldn't bet either or because you never know what's gonna happen on that chess game because that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a chess game inside that ring.
So whoever wins this fight, who should they fight next? Somebody at 140? Should Shakur stay there? You think he stays there and facing somebody there?
Shakur's he's big for that division. He's coming from 126, but I can easily see him go to 147 and still give people some problems. So Shakur's a tough.
Consider what that really means. Valdez recognizes that Teofimo carries the momentum to dominate. He sees the explosive power in Teofimo's punch that can change a fight instantly. Yet he also understands that such force is meaningless without hitting the mark. To Valdez, this matchup represents a battle between raw unpredictability and precise control.
Style-wise, is this going to be a great fight? I don't know if it will. I mean, style-wise, I could see you having a little reservations, whether or not these guys will make for dynamite. They will make, for electricity. I don't know if they will, but I'll tell you what they will make for. Two skillful fighters, two talented fighters, two fighters that are at a high skill level that will compete in the sweet science. I mean, Shakur showed aggression in his last fight against Cepeda, being elusive while being aggressive. Walking them down, fighting on the inside, boxing well, still being able to counter, still being able to control space, but also be able to go into tight quarters and not be afraid to show that he's good on the inside too, that he can make you miss and make you pay outside and inside. Shakur showed that. That was great. And people applaud him. I applaud him. We were sitting there ringside. I was sitting there actually with your sister, ringside, watching that fight. And it was a terrific performance. Shakur showing that dimension, showing that attitude, showing that competitiveness, showing that dog like people like to show or like to talk about, and they wanted to see in Shakur. Well, they saw it. Teofimo showed you that he can fight inside, he can fight outside. He would have the advantage of power in this fight. One thing that I love about this fight, Bud? Shakur's very athletic, very talented. So is Teofimo. He's more explosive with power, but Teofimo is very athletic. He is very talented. You got two athletic guys, two talented guys. Again, Teofimo I would favor with the power. This is going to be...
If Teofimo manages to force a wild, chaotic fight, the advantage is his. But Valdez understands that Shakur's precision is nearly mechanical. He avoids errors and never lets emotions take over. That's why Valdez sees this as a perfectly balanced matchup. He knows Teofimo is navigating a precarious line. One misstep, one flash of frustration, and Shakur will systematically break him down over 12 punishing rounds. It's that unpredictability that stops Valdez from wagering even on someone he knows personally.
You said a couple of times now you see some holes in Teofimo's game. I know you don't want to give away your game plan at the kickoff press conference, but where are the weaknesses? Where are some of the weaknesses in his game?
A lot of the weaknesses is in his mental. I think it's more mental than anything. I'm going to expose it.
While Valdez framed his caution politely, Keyshawn Davis went straight for confrontation. The tension between Keyshawn and Teofimo has been brewing, with Teofimo dismissing Davis as just an up-and-comer seeking attention. Davis's reply, however, left no room for joking. He delivered a blunt warning focused on survival rather than tactics. If Teofimo attempts to overpower Shakur, he's in serious trouble. The common perception paints Shakur as a cautious, defensive fighter, but Keyshawn challenges that idea. He predicts Shakur will begin methodically, studying every movement, but the instant Teofimo grows impatient or forces the pace, he'll stumble right into danger.
I see it playing out, let's say, I see it starting off slow.
Okay.
And then I see as Shakur wins the first round, as Shakur wins the second round, slowly, I think Teo is going to eventually start picking it up and start imposing his will.
Right.
And then, it's just going to go from there. That's how I think it's gonna go.
That's a fair assessment.
That's a fair one.
Especially for that to be his brother.
I think it's gonna be close.
Real.
I think it'll be closer than people think.
That was
I think it'll be closer than people think.
good.
Hey, one thing I can say though, because I've been seeing, we've been amateur together and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Tio can fight.
I tell him that. Tio can fight.
Winning back
If
then.
you said he couldn't, you'd be lying.
Right. That's a real assessment though. I think Shakur still wins, but it's gonna be closer than people think.
Tio is nice. A lot, man, no doubt.
Yeah, and Keyshawn, speaking of Tio, you've been vocal about your desire to fight Teofimo Lopez. And of course, I was there in Las Vegas, right, when you FaceTime Tio. Now Tio's fighting Shakur Stevenson. But do we see Keyshawn and Tio at some point?
How was Tio acting when I FaceTimed him? Since you brought it up, how was he acting?
You tell me. You tell the people.
Why do I gotta tell you?
You gotta tell him anyway.
Right.
How was he acting?
Yeah, how's he acting?
Hey, all I'm gonna say is he was not motivated.
Right.
He kept saying he wanted
Hey,
boots.
but look,
he kept saying he wanted boots.
What you asked me again? Because I want to answer that. What'd you say?
Do we see you and Tio fight in the future?
Oh, depending on what Shakur do with him.
Hey, losing to Shakur though, that can't be a death sentence, right? We can still see Tio
It
back.
depends how bad he loses.
I was about to
So
say.
you think it's gonna be bad?
Let's say he loses a competitive fight.
Yeah,
I think that would be the most common answer is Shakur outpoints him in a very competitive fight.
Beats him.
What then? What then for you and Teo?
For the businessman, huh?
All right, cool. Okay, since you worded it like that, I don't, because I won't go say that shit.
This is a detail most people miss. Shakur isn't just playing defense, he's precise. Keshin is implying that Teofimo's relentless aggression plays right into Shakur's hands. Teofimo may see himself as the predator, but if he charges recklessly, he'll discover he's actually the one being hunted. So, is Teofimo Lopez truly reckless? The odd press conferences, unpredictable interviews, and blatant disrespect make it easy to question his mindset, yet there could be strategy behind the chaos. Some analysts argue that Teofimo is intentional here. He knows he can't outbox Shakur in a pure technical fight. If they stand toe-to-toe trading jabs, Shakur comes out on top every single time.
Because sometimes you go a little bit beyond respect. That's disrespectful. If you disrespect me on any level, we fighting then. Now, I'm going to try to hold it together, but if you disrespect me, which is what he just did, I'm not going to ask him about what he's talking about. When I get close enough, I'm finna show him what I ain't talking about. You understand where I'm coming from? So there's a difference. That's why I say you got to know the difference from the old school and the new school. Had he said that in my day, it could not. I would told him, listen, whatever y'all do, don't let me get close to him. Because if I get close to him, I promise you, I'm finna lay him out right now. I'll pay the
So you gonna hit him with the Riddick Bowe, Larry Donald two-piece at the press conference?
Right now. You understand me? You done said that. You challenging me. You're trying me to see if I'm really a man or not. He basically trying to, little boy, you don't say it to no man. You feel me? So if a man let you say that and he don't do nothing, you feel like, he already let go. He already good. You feel me? No, you don't do that. Somebody got to listen. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I told you I'm old school, Dre. I'm so sorry, but I promise you, I'm gonna tell him, do not let me get within 6 foot, cause I'm gonna tear his head off. That's where I'm coming from. And Tio's smart. Cause he's trying to see where he at. You feel me?
He checking Shakur's temperature. Yeah.
He treating him like a little boy, trying to see if he gonna bite it, or if he gonna let me get to him like that. You feel me?
Right.
I would have had to show him that, nah, this ain't what you think it is, brother. This is not that kind of party. So if y'all let me get close to him, I promise y'all, I'm gonna hit him. You understand where I'm coming from? This ain't even a question. I'm gonna hit him. It doesn't matter how many times I'm gonna hit him before y'all grab me. You feel me? But I'm telling you right now, if I get close to him, I'm gonna hit him. I'm just keeping it real with you. I'm keeping it real with you.
I can't breathe.
I'm just keeping it real.
Teofimo's sole chance to win lies in disrupting the system. Shakur functions like a machine, analyzing every move, reading every breath, predicting each step. The only way to break that machine is to overload it with unpredictable input. Teofimo is deliberately acting wild, loud, and erratic to force Shakur out of his controlled rhythm. He aims to provoke emotion, make it personal. If he succeeds and Shakur abandons calculation for anger, the machine falters. In that storm of disorder, Teofimo becomes a lethal force. It's a risky strategy, but when facing a flawless technician, creating chaos might be his only viable path.
Honestly, I'll be a fool to think that the fighter that I'm gonna fight against
Yeah.
is the fighter that Kambosos fought against. I think with that fight, he probably mentally wasn't fully there. And then I also heard he had some other issues going on during that time. So I know to expect the best version of Teo. Teo kind of shows up when the guys that you think is gonna beat him, that's when he shows up the most. So I'm expecting the best version of him. Expect the best version of me. And I think it's gonna be a tremendous fight. Man, this dude is in my way. That's how I look at it. Like, same way he probably feel about me, I feel the same way about him. He's in my way. I'm chasing greatness.
But I wasn't in your way. You came up to my weight.
Yeah.
You didn't have nobody at 35.
That's true, but you the guy, bro. You the guy. You fought kings. You been the guy for
But you the
years
guy
and
on the
years.
pound for pound.
I
I'm not.
agree. I agree. I understand.
So how am I the guy if you on the pound
But
for
you're
pound?
the guy, bro. You know you the guy, bro.
I'm Theo. Yes.
Yeah. You been the guy since, bro. You the guy. But I'm just telling you.
But I don't.
You're in my
that's the
way,
thing.
bro.
I don't carry it that way.
But you're in my way.
The mentality is never going
But
to
you're
be
in
that
my
way.
way. But you're in my way. So
No.
I gotta move you out my way. That's how I look at this.
Nope.
Ain't nobody taking food off my table. That's all I'm gonna say.
But I'll tell you this.
Timothy Bradley Jr. broke this fight down in a way that shows just how massive the challenge is for Teofimo. He didn't focus solely on punches. He analyzed it like a problem in physics. Bradley described Shakur not just as a boxer with rhythm, but as the embodiment of rhythm itself. He used a striking metaphor. Shakur is like a hacker closing tabs on your browser. Every move you try to make gets neutralized. You throw a jab, he removes the angle. You attempt a hook, he slips out of reach. Round after round, your choices vanish until you're left with nothing. Bradley cautions that while Teofimo is a master improviser, akin to a jazz player freestyling, improvisation becomes guessing when facing a sharpshooter. Teofimo depends on reflexes and athleticism to escape trouble, but against Shakur, those situations are traps. One misstep, and Shakur will make him pay for every error.
A guy like Shakur, you got to have power and you got to put some pressure. You know, you're not going to outbox him. You're not. He's too smart. He's too smart, too great. His distance control, his range. There's nobody better in boxing than him. There really is. You know, I'm sorry, there isn't. So you're gonna have to do a mixture. You're gonna have to try to box a little bit to get your way there, but be aggressive with it. Smart aggression. You know what I'm saying? And when you let them hands go, they gotta be hard and they have to be fast. And you gotta let them go often. You know, you gotta corner this man. You gotta corner him. You know, obviously you had Cepeda that was able to keep him on the ropes by putting that pressure on him. Cepeda put the pressure on him and kept him on the ropes, you know, but, you know, Shakur was blocking a lot of that stuff. Some of that stuff was getting through, you know what I mean? But, you know, you got to be selective with your shots and you got to try to set him up, man. Yeah, you got to try to set him up. That's it. You know, I think the more opportunity you have to let those hands go against Shakur, you know, more opportunity you have to be able to land on him. But if you hold your hands in your damn pocket and you don't shoot, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. Because you're not gonna beat Shakur in the patience game. He is patient. He will wait. He don't care about the damn crowd and what's going on. Hell no. When you in there fighting, no, you gotta worry about you. Straight up. So he'll be patient and he'll wait out. Wait up. Stall him out, Craig. He'll wait.
There's also a physical factor Coach Rob highlighted that hasn't received enough attention. This fight takes place at a weight where Shakur Stevenson feels at ease. Gaining those extra 5 pounds reduces fatigue and increases snap. He no longer drains himself to make weight, leaving his legs strong and fresh deep into the championship rounds. This sets up a contest of efficiency versus raw energy. Teofimo is explosive, relying on quick-twitch muscles, large motions, and constant high output that consumes a lot of stamina. Shakur, in contrast, is all about precision. Every step has purpose, every punch thrown only when it will connect.
I think it's going to be a technical fight from the beginning. And then I think later on, Shakur going to pick him apart, man. gonna pick him apart. And I gotta tell everybody that Whichcomb is real athletic too. Teofimo. So I mean, I don't think it's gonna be an easy fight. You know what I mean? People think, a lot of people say it's gonna be easy and all that. Nah. Teofimo can punch and he can box. And like I said, he's real athletic. So, you know what I mean? That'll make it a little difficult right there. You know what I mean?
I see a lot of people going back and forth with it. Some people think Teo got the advantage because of the weight and that he's athletic and explosive. Some people say Shakur is the better boxer.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. How you see that fight ending?
Well, they saying, they got the weight and all that. I see Shakur box big guys, light heavyweights and all that stuff. Just like Boots, he box heavyweights and put the heavyweights down. You know what I mean? I think that's the right move for him. You know what I mean? Get up and I think he can really do good at that weight.
This isn't a stoppage.
I'm looking at a decision, not a stoppage. But then it all according how Teo come in. If Teo come at him, he's gonna run into some shots. It might be over. You know what I mean?
Now you always tell me it's the shot that you don't see coming.
That's it.
That power is speed.
Right.
So could it be a situation where people underestimate Shakur's punching power?
Yeah. I think Shakur can punch. You know what I mean? I think he can punch. It's just like I said, speed is power. You know, them guys, muscle bound guys come in and you talking about, he can punch and all that. Like I just got finished saying, like you just got finished saying, matter of fact, the punch that you don't see knocks him out. And they always say, man, I didn't see that punch coming. That's the one you worry about for. I mean, then you got to look at this. Shakur, he got speed. He got speed. He a technician, man. He know what he doing, man. I can't take nothing away from Teo. Teo's a good fighter too. You know what I mean? He's a good fighter. But I think Shakur is...
The real risk for Teofimo is running out of energy. If he wastes the opening rounds chasing an illusion, missing big shots, and growing frustrated, his stamina will vanish. Once that initial burst fades, he'll be left facing a precise technician who is only just hitting his stride. That's when the methodical dismantling begins. That's when the humiliation sets in. On January 31st, the crowd will witness two young champions at their peak. But Oscar Valdez sees it differently. He sees a fighter attacking an invisible barrier, throwing punches at thin air while being struck.
How do you envision it? I mean, I'm sure you played it out in your mind a bunch of times already.
Me just making a great fighter look average. That's how I see it.
Are you gonna fight like the Zepeda way? Because that was the first time we see you fight like that.
I can't tell you how I'm gonna fight. I fight different styles for different people.
Yeah.
So I may fight this way for this guy. I may fight the other way for another guy. But my main objective is to...
Valdez's message couldn't be more straightforward. Don't be fooled by appearances. From the press seats, Shakur Stevenson may seem like an easy mark, but once the fight starts, he's a living puzzle that dismantles you before you even realize it. Teofimo has the strength, determination, and unpredictability to potentially pull off a shock, but only if he truly acknowledges the challenge ahead. Step in thinking it will be simple, and he'll leave the ring confused and beaten. Will Teofimo be the anomaly that disrupts the system, or just another problem Shakur methodically removes? Drop your prediction in the comments. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss what's next, and share your thoughts below. We'll see you in the next one.